Chapter 12. The Brotherhood of Warrior Hunters. The Alban Farm, late spring, 1756. After surviving the French soldiers, William sees his two eldest sons through different eyes, their innocent youth ending with the very real memories of their ordeal. Viewing them as young men now, William's thoughts returned to an idea he had long been considering: a second cabin on the family property. In light of his ever-growing family, he has often given thought to the idea over the years, but until now had always dismissed the notion, choosing instead on 2 previous occasions to add on to the existing structure. But the winds of change are blowing, and he needs to navigate the shifting tide. With his farm and meat businesses thriving, and with John now 16 and Robert just 3.5 years behind, he knows that time has come. The only pressing questions are, what kind of new house to build, where to build it, and who would live in it when it's done? Either he, Mary, and their 2 youngest, or John and Robert. In the weeks leading up to Junior's birthday, William loosely kicks the idea around with Mary, and the more they talk about it, the more the idea makes sense. After much thought and consideration, they agree to make it happen, but the questions remain. William and Mary have lived in their home for nearly 20 years and are perfectly content. However, after seeing how Abram's Delight turned out, the idea of building one for themselves is incredibly enticing. Rather than jump into a rash decision, they opt for doing some research. For starters, they reach out to Hollingsworth's son, Isaac, who had brought his father's dream to fruition just 2 years earlier. Upon speaking with Isaac, they learn that Abram's Delight had been built by master mason Simon Taylor, the man who also built Springdale, their old friend Colonel John Hight's house in 1753. When seeking out the master mason, the Albans learned that Taylors recently moved more than 30 miles away to Hampshire, Virginia. Considering it would take a full day of travel by wagon from Hampshire to the Alban farm, and with the French and Indian War still raging, hiring Taylor is no longer an option. With that, the Albans returned to the idea of building another timber frame cabin. Having made that decision, they begin scouting their property for an ideal location, their efforts yielding several promising options. However, not until their 3rd day of scouting did it hit them. The Alban Farm, Tuesday, May 4th, 1756. William and his bonny bride are riding side by side scouting their property when William has an epiphany. He reaches down, patting JJ's neck. "There's something been eating at me." "As if I canna tell by the look on your face." He smiles. "As easy to read as a King James I am." Out the corner of her eye. "Aye, and?" "Well, I ken we got excited about the idea of another home after seeing Abram's new house." "Aye, but I hear a but coming." "But since we'll just be building another timber frame," out the corner of her eye again. "Aye." William returns the glare out the corner of his eye, before slowly rolling his eyes to the baby blue cotton-filled sky. "I'm thinking I'd rather we just stay where we're at. I love our home." Mary releases her breath with a sigh, hand over chest. "Oh, thank you, Jesus! I've been thinking the same, but dinna say a word for fear of dashing your dreams." He turns to her wide-eyed. "Really? And for 2 days now I've been dreading the thought of telling you for fear of dashing yours." Relieved, they share a laugh, and Mary says, "Dinna get me wrong. A stone house would have been lovely. But I love our home, and for the life of me, I've been dreading the idea for a fortnight." "Me too. So, does that mean we can stay?" Mary lets out another sigh. "For the love of God, yes! Nothing would make me happier. But still, we need to find a spot for the lads. 'Tis true, but why no let them pick their own spot, with our guidance, of course, he says, throwing her his signature wink. She smiles. I say we go tell him right now. William brings his index finger to his bottom lip. I see where you're going, Mare Bear, but no just yet. I've something special in mind. Do you now? Well then, do tell, O mighty Makwa. What be this special something? Boasting a proud smile, William straightens himself on JJ's saddle. I propose we wait till this weekend and surprise him when we take him out for Junior's birthday hunt. Bloody hell! Bloody hell? What do you mean, bloody hell? 'Tis just, I were thinking of something snarky to say, but I canna. William, that's perfect. I love surprises. Ball Hollow, Saturday, May 8th, 1756. And so it is, with the Bonners watching little James and Jeremiah, the Albans, with longtime friend Flora Bonner Connolly, are heading out for a family hunt in celebration of Junior's 9th birthday. With the French and Indian War still raging to the west of the Shenandoah, they are relegated to hunting closer to home than on previous occasions. Nevertheless, food still needs to be put on the table, life lessons need to be learned, and Junior's birthday needs to be celebrated. Despite what he had told Washington, William's bond with the Shawnee remained strong. Nevertheless, his concerns about French and British soldiers remain, both a threat he would rather avoid. That in mind, William has the birthday boy carry his much lighter flintlock Fowler, while the rest of the clan carries long rifles and muskets, all with the hope of avoiding a John and Robert scenario. With the boys cloaked in buckskins and Mary in the pants and shirt she borrowed, from her brother years before, and Flora equally clad in an altered pair of her deceased husband Jeremiah's old buckskins, the clan heads out. It is early, long before sunup. On foot, William leads the clan about 3.5 miles west of their farm. His comfort level with hunting there is high, as he has it on good authority there is no hostile activity in the area. They trek southward along what locals refer to as Hunting Ridge, an area flush with game birds. Considering this is Junior's first hunt, William hopes the group will be able to bag a few wild turkeys, ringneck pheasants, and/or grouse. The sun has yet to rise as they approach Ball Hollow, making it the perfect time to bag some birds. Although he has been shooting at targets for a couple of years now, Junior has never shot at anything else, save the occasional pesky squirrel or rascally raccoon. Forgetting himself, he blurts, I cannot believe it! Are we really hunting? Really and truly? Indeed we are, young squire. Boys, ready to show Junior how we do it? He's excited to get started. John answers on behalf of himself and Robert. Aye, da. Ready when you are. Mare Bear? She throws him a flirtatious smile. Aye, love. All right. John, what's the first thing we do? Before he can answer, Robert grabs handfuls of dirt and rubs them rowdily on John's head and body. This quickly escalates into a roughhousing leaf and dirt-throwing fight between them. Amused, Flora laughs. Is this what I get to look forward to? Mary nods. This and so much more, dear. Junior barks. That ain't hunting. Nay, young squire, it ain't. Boys! William shouts. As they desist, he continues. Robert, tell your little brother what you're doing aside from acting like an arse. Robert looks at his little brother with a shrug. What's it look like? We're rubbing dirt on ourselves. William slaps his hands on his hips with a glare. Robert reads his body language and continues. We use the dirt to cover our scent and shiny skin. William gives him a nod and he returns to his rubbing. And why is that important? 'Cause if the animals can smell or see us, they'll get spooked. Flora sees the confused look on Junior's face. He means our smell will scare the animals away. William smiles. Thank you, sis. Boys, if you'd be so kind, help Junior cover his stench. With that, William, Mary, and Flora watch as the two older brothers joyfully rub down their brother from head to toe. With a puckered face, Junior waves his arms, spitting and coughing all the while. William waves his hands. All right, that's enough. Bear, have you the water? She holds up a deerskin Boda bag. Aye, love. John, will you do me the honors? John retrieves the bag from his ma. He makes a small puddle on the ground at his feet and mixes it with the dirt. When the mud is to the desired consistency, he covers his fingertips with it and proceeds to put it on his father's face like war paint. You see what we're doing here, Junior? We're covering our exposed skin with mud to help hide ourselves from the animals. I learned this years ago from the Piscataway. He laughs. That's funny. Do I get to do that? Funny as it is, 'tis important you understand why we do it. For example, if we were hunting deer, whitetail are one of the wariest, most intelligent creatures in the wild, so we've to be smarter than they are. Covering our scent and painting our skin are ways we can do that. By blending into our surroundings, we make ourselves invisible. Understand? Junior sticks his fingers into the mud and wipes it on his face. I understand. This is fun. Mary kneels and helps him paint his forehead, face, and hands. As the remainder of the clan is painting each other and readying themselves for the hunt, William continues. Robert, tell your little brother why I chose to hunt this location. Because we want to be where the animals live. And this time of year, this ridge is covered with chestnut, red oak, and wild berry bushes, all great sources of food and shelter for birds and small game. John points around at the landscape. And they like open ridges covered with timber. William points at him with a wink. Precisely. Well done, lads. You've learned your brother well. Now, Junior, since it's your first hunt, today we're looking for birds. So, always keep your eyes open because you never can what you'll come across or when. You need to scan the area. Look ahead of you, on the ground, in the bushes, and in the trees. Fowler at the ready. Understand? Junior squeezes his Fowler and nods. Good. And remember what I taught you. Use your hunting voice. He nods. All right. Junior and I will take the middle, and the rest of you spread out to our left and right. As the others spread out, William gives his small band of warrior hunters one last reminder. And keep an eye out for droppings, tracks, bedding spots, or any signs of rubs or scrapes. Oh, and soldiers, understand? All right then, move out, slow and quiet. And remember, hunting voices and hand signals. If you see something, give the signal. And if you have a clean shot, take it. Flora and Mary exchange a smile, and Flora takes John to the right flank while Mary scoots off with Robert to the left. With a light wind in their faces, the small group moves slowly through the darkness across the ridge, moving step by step in a V-shaped wedge formation, their senses keenly alert, listening and watching for signs both near and far. After a little over an hour, William spots something on the narrow animal trail he is following. With the light of only the god rays cracking the dawn, he kneels for a closer look. Confirming his suspicion, he turns to the birthday boy, pointing. Look here. Junior comes closer and looks. Those are deer droppings. See how they're clumped together? That's how you can tell they're from a deer and know a rabbit. He reaches down and picks up a ball of scat and rolls it in his fingertips, then hands it to Junior. You see how moist it is? That means it's fresh, so keep an eye out. You may be nearby. Junior rolls the scat in his fingers, examining it. He acknowledges his father with a nod, throws it to the ground, and they proceed forward. Several yards later, they come upon an antler rub on the trunk of an old oak. Seizing another opportunity for Junior to learn, William points to the rub, explaining what it is and what it means. Junior listens intently, nodding as before, and they proceed onward, a little slower, eyes a little wider, ears tuned to nature's tranquility. Just then, William hears a warbler coming from his left flank. It is Robert, signaling to the group he has spotted something. Scanning the area from where he heard the signal, William spots Robert and Mary concealing themselves behind a large oak. Upon making eye contact, Robert uses hand signals to indicate he spotted a deer 100 or so yards ahead. William quietly explains to Junior the hand signals his brother is using and what he is saying. William signals for them to hold their position. Then he and Junior move forward for a better view. John and Flora come into view on their right flank. William signals them about the deer, instructing them to hold their position. Flora signals back that they see the deer and are holding fast. With that, William and Junior slowly and stealthily move to join Robert and his mother. William and his young cohort kneel beside them, and Robert points out the tiny herd. William peers down range, and to his delight, spies a beautiful 12-point buck and 3 does. He never imagined having an opportunity to fell a deer with 6 warrior hunters traipsing through the bush, and yet there they are, ripe for the taking. Still eyeballing the deer, William whispers, "Praise the Lord. Robert, slide over to your brother and tell him we're going to move over to our right for a better shot. The 2 doe on the right are yours. You decide who'll take the shots. Mare Bear, swing wide left and try to get in range. The doe on the far left is yours. The buck is Junior's. Once you're in range and on target, sing your song. Wait for all the songs, and on the last one, on the count of 3, everyone shoot. Understand?" Robert nods, then slides off through the woods like a Shawnee warrior, as Mary creeps through the bush to a better position. For the next 20 minutes, they slowly move through the forest, careful not to spook their prey. William and Junior reach their position first, at which point the small herd is still lazily grazing. On their right, Flora watches as John and Robert take up shooting positions. Once in place, Robert gives his warbler whistle. Meanwhile, while waiting for Mary to give her signal, William hands Martha to Junior and is coaching him through his first kill shot. "All right, young squire, position yourself behind this log. You can use it to steady Martha's barrel while you ready your shot. Aim at that big fellow on the far right, the buck. That one's yours." Peering down Martha's long steel barrel, Junior nods. "You'll want to aim just behind his front legs. That's where you make the kill shot, lad. Right through his heart. Understand?" Still aiming, Junior nods again. Just then, they hear Mary's birdsong. William lightly pats Junior's shoulder. "Good." Then he signals to the others they are ready. "Now remember, relax, breathe, and chapow!" followed by a chorus of chapow, pow, pow! As the smoke clears Martha's barrel, they look to the distance, but all they see is one of the does running away, their view of anything on the ground impeded by shrubs and bushes. Looking to his right, William sees John is wasting no time running to the fallen prey. Although difficult to discern from their position, it is clear they hit something. The only question is, what? William has his fingers crossed. One of them is Junior's buck. "All right, young squire, let's go have a look." John, Robert, Mary, and Flora are already on the scene when William and Junior walk up. On the ground before them are 3 whitetails, 2 does, and the beautiful 12-point buck. Excited, Mary tousles Junior's hair. "Well done, young squire. Your first buck." "Thanks, Ma." Just then, John and Robert start arguing and their father barks. "What's the bloody problem?" "Robert claims this doe was his, but I never miss. This one's mine." "Nay, you were taking the one on the left, remember? This one's mine." "Boys, enough." It doesn't matter who got what. We got 3 out of 4. We did good. That's why it's called hunting. Sometimes you get 'em and sometimes you dunna. It's the adventure what counts. We're out here making memories. Dunna ruin it. Understand? After getting a talking to, John nods and turns to his little brother. Nice shooting, Junior. Junior, who has a couple of leaves stuck in his shaggy brown hair, looks up proudly at his big brother. Thanks, John. Although she had not taken a shot, Flora is curious about the deer that got away. Just like William had taught her, she turns her eyes to the ground and begins searching for clues. A few feet away, she spots a blood trail leading into the bush. Look! John must have wounded the one that got away. John looks, seeing she is right. There is a faint but clear trail of blood leading away from the site. With John still staring at the ground, Robert takes it upon himself to follow the trail. As he follows it into the bush, his father says, Well done, John, but don't stand there. Help your brother track that doe. With that, John follows Robert into the bush. Having dealt with his older boys, William turns his attention to the 3 fallen deer. To his right, Mary is sizing up the doe she shot, with Flora standing at her side. Upon closer observation, Mary starts to laugh. Flora cocks her head to the side and looks at her. Bloody hell! What's so funny? Still laughing, I cannot tell you who shot what. Does it matter? They're no going anywhere. Mary slaps a hand on her shoulder with a nod. Oh, yes, they are, missy. These beauties are going in the smokehouse. They look at each other and laugh. Meanwhile, William is showing Junior how to dress his buck. Seeing they have started, Flora pulls her knife, peers at Mary, and kneels to dress one of the does. Seeing she has things well in hand, Mary pulls her knife and starts dressing the other. Still focused on the buck, William turns to Junior. Look at that, young squire, right through the heart. That's some pretty fine marksmanship, if I do say so myself. Junior's face lights up, excited and proud. But when he looks back at the beautiful creature lying before him, guilt washes over him and his eyes begin to well. Seeing he is upset, William wipes the blood from his right hand and places his arm around his son's tiny shoulders. It's all right, young squire. You did good. He gives him a gentle shake. Rest assured, this fine creature felt no pain. Your shot was true. He felt nothing. And now, his noble sacrifice will feed our family for weeks to come, thanks to your steady hand. Well done, young squire. I'm proud of you. Mary kneels beside them, tousling Junior's hair. Happy birthday, young squire. You did good. As a tear rolls down his cheek. Thanks, Ma. As Flora finishes with the doe, she looks at the 3 deer and turns to them. Congratulations, Junior. Yours is the finest of the bunch. Well done. A grand 12-pointer on your first hunt. I believe that gives you bragging rights over your brothers. And with a tousle of his hair, it didn't get any better than that, lad. Wiping the tears from his eyes, Junior looks up with a proud smile. He is the biggest, isn't he? She smiles. Aye, lad, he is indeed. His father gives him another gentle shake. What say I finish showing you how to dress him? As Junior nods, William spots Robert reappearing through the bushes alone. Where's your brother? With a dismissive wave. He's coming. Did you find the doe? Aye, and I already dressed her. William pumps a fist. Excellent. As Robert cops a squat, William finishes teaching Junior how to dress. He is watching intently when he sees his mother take a bite of her doe's heart, and he gags. What are you doing? Blood covering her chin, she explains. 'Tis a tradition we learned from Gunsta. 'Tis how we thank the creature for sacrificing its life so that we may live. Every hunter, at the very least, must eat the heart of his first kill as a show of respect and appreciation. Robert pops up from the log he is resting on. I do it with all my kills. Junior looks at him, then at his father with a grimace. Do I have to? Aye, young squire, 'tis the way of the warrior. Robert adds, Gunsta says if one is to kill, one must do so with honor and respect. William hands the buck's warm heart to Junior. Here, take a bite and feel his spirit merry with years. Only then can he join the brotherhood of warrior hunters. Junior stares at the bloody muscle in his hand. He had no idea this is what it means to hunt and kill wild animals, but the last thing he wants to do is disappoint his father. So, with eyes squeezed tight, he starts to take a bite. His daw cheers. Make it count, young squire. Aye, no one of those little girl bites. You gotta take a warrior's bite, Robert insists. Kneeling in the distance, his proud Aunt Flora is giggling under her breath as she watches. Difficult and scary as it is, Junior is learning about respect and honoring the kill. Right before taking a bite, he opens his eyes, then musters the courage and sinks his teeth into the bloody raw flesh, ripping off a healthy bite. He grimaces again as he starts to chew, chomping on the salty flesh before swallowing it down. Sitting there wide-eyed with blood running down his chin, William gives him a proud slap on his back. Well done, lad. Robert throws his arms in the air, cheering. Woohoo! Well done, little brother. Now you can call yourself a warrior hunter like the rest of us. As a proud smile forms on Junior's bloody face, William slaps a hand on his shoulder. Welcome to the Brotherhood of Warrior Hunters, young squire. He pats him a couple of times on his back, then stands and walks away. Mary notices him staring off into space and walks over. What is it? William snaps out of it and turns to her. 'Tis just, I can't believe it. Believe what? Shaking his head. Never before have I seen so many kills at the same time. It's as if God himself made it happen. There's no other explanation. Flora walks up. Aye, 'tis a first for me as well. Mary looks at them surprised. Really? Just then, John shows up dragging a small doe behind him, and he does not look happy. William sees his expression. What's ailing you? Robert laughs. He's just mad because I didn't help him drag that tiny doe of his. Well, you could have helped. I did help. I tracked it and dressed it. Would you like me to cook them for you too? Bringing the group to a hearty laugh, Flora teases. Oh, John, you poor soul. Your back must be aching. That doe is nearly as big as Junior. John drops the doe and sulks while the group enjoys a good laugh at his expense. But then he notices the blood on Junior's face. Ah, I missed it? Smiling proudly, Junior says, Look what I got. John walks over and shakes Junior's hand like a man. Well done, little brother. He's a beauty. And welcome to the Brotherhood of Warrior Hunters. William cheers. To the Brotherhood! Together they cheer. To the Brotherhood! William adds, Excited as I am, didn't go throwing a party just yet. We still need to get these beasts back to the farm. To make their trip easier, William instructs his sons to chop down 3 small birches, after which they are debranched and fashioned into carrying poles. Meanwhile, William is carefully harvesting some sinew from the buck. Using it, he straps the legs of the deer. When finished, they slide them onto the poles and hoist them into the air. William is shouldering the front of the heaviest pole, carrying the large buck and the smallest doe, with John shouldering the rear. Flora and Mary are carrying her doe, while Robert and Junior bear the third doe. Shoulders loaded with poles, the Brotherhood of Warrior Hunters heads for home. Of course, the upside of their trip is the fact that they bagged 4 deer, the highlight of which is Junior getting his first buck, making his birthday one he'll never forget. Ironically, the downside is also that they bagged 4 deer, because now they have to carry them 5 miles back to the farm. Nevertheless, William is delighted, as Junior's first hunt far exceeded his expectations. Their haul nicely stocking their meat house, not to mention a nice fat doe for Flora to take back to the Bonners, all of which makes the long hike home far more bearable for all. While walking along, William starts up a conversation with John, who was walking behind him. He peers over his shoulder. "So, I have an idea I've been thinking on, and I were wondering if I could get your opinion." "Idea, you say? I'll bite. What you thinking?" "Well, how'd you feel about a cabin of your own?" John's head sways back and forth as he walks, eyes squinting. "Forgive me for saying that, but is this your way of saying you want me to leave?" William shakes his head and snaps. "No, you silly goose. What I'm saying is, your ma and I thought you might be ready for a cabin of your own." "Cabin of me own? You're no serious." "Indeed I am. Bloody serious." "Really?" "Aye. So what do you think?" "Of course. I'd love it." "Well, I've been thinking on it, and I think we should build you one somewhere on the farm." Excited, John cuts off his father. "I can't believe it! A cabin of me own!" William looks back over his shoulder again. "Well, actually, for you and Robert to share." John groans. "To share?" "Listen, with everything what's going on with this war and whatnot, I'd rather you live alone." "But stop moaning like a sissy and hear me out. I agree. You're 16 bloody years old, and I think it's time you take them stinky feet of yours elsewhere. I do. But I'd feel a whole lot better about it if your brother were with you," he says with a wink at Robert, who is walking to his right. "Really? John and me in our own cabin?" His father nods, then looks back over his shoulder. "So, have we an accord?" John gasps. "Of course. But is Ma all right with this?" He and Robert glance at their mother. Mary chuckles. "Come now, lads. Do you really think your dad cooked up this idea on his own?" Flora shakes her head, laughing, despite the heavy load weighing on her shoulder. Robert cheers. "Oh, that's going to be great!" William declares. "To settle then, and if we start straight away, we can have a roof over your heads long before the fall." The Alban Farm, 2 days later, early Monday morning, May 10th, 1756. After a relaxing Sunday of fellowship, prayer, and tasty food, William and Mary rise the next morning and walk the property with their 2 eldest sons. After much discussion, they agreed to build their new cabin in close proximity to the family cabin, placing them close enough to the family that their parents can keep a close eye, while still affording John and Robert their first taste of independence. Furthermore, there will be no need for building additional structures like a barn, outhouse, or other supporting structures. This will also enable them to accomplish their goal with far less resources, time, and effort. And, like their father's first cabin on the Bonner farm, theirs will be a simple 12 by 12 structure with a fireplace on the back wall. After picking a spot about 50 yards from the family cabin, William and his 3 eldest sons get to work clearing and leveling the site, chopping and removing bushes, small trees, and rocks. The following morning, they harness the mules and head to the forest to harvest the required timber. For the next several days, they fell, debranch, debark, and prepare the harvest of trees, hauling them to the site to lay in the sun until construction. And 2 weeks from the day they started chopping, they start their build. In between their daily chores and business obligations, the Albans spend a little time every day for the rest of the summer working to complete the project. Unlike previous cabins they have built, this structure, simple as it is, drags well into the fall. The Alban Farm, Saturday morning, October 23rd, 1756. William finishes hanging the front door, then steps away from the cabin, arms crossed. "Nice work, lads. She's a fine cabin as ever I've seen." Pleased and relieved, John sighs. "I can't believe it. She's finally done." "I thought we'd never finish," Robert groans. John pats his father on the shoulder, nodding. "But she is a beauty. Well done, Da." Robert steps up, patting his father on the other shoulder as he gazes at the cabin. "Aye, thank you, Da." Proudly, William stands there with his sons, gazing with pride at their new cabin. Just then, Mary walks up with little James in her arms and Junior following close behind. She hands Junior his little brother, then turns to the cabin, hands on her hips.
"Oh, now isn't that a bonny sight?" "Aye, bonny indeed, Ma," Junior breathes, his little brother pawing at his face as he speaks. John stands there proudly, hands on his hips. "Do you think?"
His mother and little brother nod.
"Thanks. Hey, Junior, maybe you can come over and stay with us sometimes."
Junior pushes little James's hands away from his face.
"That would be great, but only if you keep those stinky boots of yours outside."
Robert spins to his parents.
"Is it too late to move back with you?"